Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to talk about one more topic. As we have completed superconductivity previously, now we are going to go in a same line. Engineering physics course, we are going to talk about one more chapter, that is NDT, non-destructive testing. This is also a very important chapter in terms of engineering application, and in our day-to-day life also we are implementing it n number of times. But then as an engineer or as a science fellow, we need to emphasize the real methods, scientific methods, and that's why we are having a special techniques or methods which are considered as a non-destructive testings. So we'll talk about it. Now, before entering into the real content part, let's ask a question. What is testing? Testing, whenever we are purchasing something, when we are using something for any kind of process or product, then in that case we need to identify certain things, certain properties, characteristic of the material, or we need to see that the quality of the material is matching with the need or not, and for that we are doing certain kind of experiment or we can say activity, so that we can have an idea about the properties or characteristic of the material. So here also testing, if you want to identify the fundamental properties of the material or the specific property which is matching with our requirement, then we need to do the test on them. So testing is any kind of physical or chemical test on the material which will give us result, and from that result we can make out our decision that can we use that material for our processes or in our system or not. That we can do. So first of all, testing, this is the thing. But we are having a various branches in engineering, and we are doing a various kind of testing in this particular part. Mechanical engineering students or mechanical engineers, they are doing a testing of, we can say, tensile strength and compressive strength of the material. Same way in a civil engineering, we are doing compressive strength of a construction or a building. So you must have seen certain blocks or the metal rods, they are there lying in your lab, where we are testing their strength. So testing their strength, capability and their properties, that is needed in engineering branches. It's not only restricted up to mechanical and civil engineering only, but in electrical or any other branches, when we are using a material to fulfill our need or we are implementing it in a particular application, then we need to identify their characteristic or property before putting them into real application. So testing is very much important. So that's what the definition also suggests. We can identify the performance criteria, quality and reliability of the material before putting them into we can say widespread applications. Now, where are we doing that testing? As we have started, but it's not initial stage. That means input stage only we are doing the testing part, but we are doing in the whole process, input, process and output. At all three levels we are testing the material, and then we check that are they going in a same line as we have decided our goal, or are they fulfilling our need in that manner. In an input state of any process, if you say what kind of raw materials they are there, that we need to identify first. If we take a simple example, if we are supposed to prepare something, let's say we want to make out a metal structure or we can say a crane, then in that case what kind of metal rods, what kind of shape, size and metal rods we are going to use, that we need to identify. So that is input state, where we are going to identify the properties of the material. Then the process part, many a time generally in we can say chemical engineering or chemical industries or pharma industries, the processes, there are quite many number of processes which will result into some kind of product. But after one process, whatever result, intermediate state result we are getting, that we need to put it as a input of next state or next process. Then in that case we need to identify the result of the first process also. So we are doing the testing of material or the result of the one or another state process. So after we can say if you many number of processes they are involved in the real production part, then in that case after each and every process we need to check that the quality or the result of the process is proper or not. So for the quality assurance and to get the real better result, we need to do the checking of the product in between the process also. So this is the process part where we are doing the testing, and then same way at the output, once we get a result or product, we can say resultant thing of the process, that if you want to put it into market, but before doing that also we need to check them, so that we can have a quality assurance that it is going to fulfill our requirement and it is as per our expectation. So for that also we are doing testing. Now all this process part or stages, if we do the testing which is destructive kind of testing, that means if we destroy the specimen, then in that case the further process will we can say will become void. So we cannot do destructive testing, we need to do non-destructive testing only. So now we'll reach to the part what is destructive testing and non-destructive testing. These are the two types of testing. When we say that testing is the procedure by which we want to find out the parameter, characteristic or properties of the material, then in that case we are having two methods. One is destructive testing method and the other is non-destructive testing method. Up till now we can say everyone is performing one or another kind of testing method in identifying or using the things into our day-to-day life. Let's say simple thing, if you want to buy some kind of sweets, then we are going to have a test. We are going to say that give us a piece of that sweet and we are going to test it. But after eating that, the specimen, that is actually the piece that the person has given, that is not going to exist because we have already consumed it. That is that is destructive kind of testing. Same way you have also performed a certain test, chemistry lab. In chemistry lab you have performed certain tests where you are using those material and you are trying to find out positive and negative ions, but at the end of the total experiment, the total specimen or the packet given to you was consumed. That's a destructive kind of testing. But now we are going to focus on a non-destructive kind of testing. So before that, to distinguish between the two, we'll talk about destructive testing. Whenever we are doing the destructive kind of testing, the specimen or the material or the product, whichever we are testing, that is it's not going to stay in existence, because after testing we are going to destroy that. So once we get the testing done, the specimen is not in existing in a initial form, or the basic property they will be lost after testing. What kind of such testings we are doing? So in that case, rupture test of a concrete block in a civil construction. So once we do that test, the block will be broken and the pieces will be available. So block is not existing anymore. And same way, if we are talking about a mechanical engineering system, then in that case tensile test of a rope or any road, we can say. So by pulling at two ends, we can see the tensile strength of the material, but after doing that it will be in two pieces, so it's no more in use. And then same way we can go for other materials. We can say temperature test for material casing. So if you are covering something with the metal coverage, then with temperature change, how it is going to change, or what kind of expansion and contraction is occurring. In that also, if we go up to the extreme condition, then the material product that will get destroyed. So such kind of testing, they are called destructive testing. And as in a photograph it is shown that one small bolt, after testing there are two pieces, so it's no more in existing in a, we can say, initial state or it's a normal state, but now it's a broken, so we cannot use it further. But the result, they are still important, because we are considering that the whatever the property one material they are having, the same is replicated in others also. So by destructive testing also we are testing the material, we can say widespread, but the difference is here we are losing one specimen, so it's a trouble in our destructive testing. But now if you go to the real part which we are supposed to discuss in this chapter, non-destructive testing. In this testing we are not going to destroy the specimen. We are going to say up to that extent that we are not going to change the physical or chemical property of the material also. So we don't have to bring any kind of, or at the end of the non-destructive testing, you will not find any kind of difference in the specimen. The specimen or the material will remain as it is, but there will be a change in a, we can say we'll find properties, chemical properties as well as physical properties without making any such kind of change. Then we call it non-destructive testing. Why we are supposed to do it, or why are we doing it, or objectives of non-destructive testing? So testing, as we already started with, we want to have a quality assurance so that we can have a fine product, and that will help us in, we can say, increasing the quality level of our life. So for that purpose we need to test it at every level, every place. And in that, what kind of objective the non-destructive testing is having? So in that case we can identify certain objectives. First one is identifying the fundamental property of the material. So when we are having certain materials, and if we don't know the fundamental property, we can say in terms of physical property, chemical property, and if you want to identify, then rather than losing that specimen, if we do it by non-destructive testing method, we can identify the properties, and we are having that, or we can preserve that specimen also. Where we need to preserve those specimens. So the second objective coming into part, when we are having a specimen related to, we can say, some kind of historical event or archaeological event. Sometimes it's scientific also, certain evidences, let's say like meteorites and all. So we cannot destroy those samples or specimen, or after testing they should be in a same state as they were. So we need to take care of that. Any physical or chemical property should not change, and for that we are having an option that we will go for non-destructive testing. So any precious specimen or object, then in that case we need to do the testing by non-destructive manner. And then third objective will be, if you want to reuse the substance or object, we are having one object, after testing we want to reuse. Let's say it's just a in between check. When we are using it, we want to see that is it in a proper state or not, and if you want to continue the use of that, we can use it. Same way it is a fourth point of objective, that will become in-service testing. Why are we doing in-service testing? So that we don't have to observe the failure of the system. There are many components available in this system, and if we are not checking the state of the components, then in that case at the end of the we can say time, we'll find that the whole system is collapsing. And to avoid that circumstances, we need to check the each and every component time to time. What kind of problems are arising? That is aging effect. With time there is a problem, certain properties they are going to change, and then again when we are using it again and again, then wear and tear, that kind of also problem arises. So we need to check in service that the things are not losing its property and it is in a same state as we have installed. So that in service testing is also needed, and then also we cannot remove them or we cannot destroy that part from the system. So in service we are doing non-destructive testing. Then certain quality assurance, quality control purpose also we are doing the testing. You must have seen certain product, if you are purchasing from the market, the sticker is there, okay, tested. What is the meaning of that? They have already done the test on that, and after the test they found that the result or the product is matching with the need. So it is of good quality. But if you asked question to yourself, okay, tested, how they have tested it? It's not destructive testing kind of method, but it's a non-destructive kind of testing. If it is destructive, then you may not have that product in your hand. So this is a non-destructive kind of testing. Then sometimes it's a very critical cases. As such kind of cases will not come into engineering part. But if you want to test the thing which is harmful to any kind of system, that means to the human being also, and certain things they are resulting into a product. Let's say sonography, that is one method by which we are trying to find out a state of a child in mother's womb. So if you want to see such kind of thing, then in that case destructive testing won't be accepted anyway. So non-destructive testing is needed in such kind of testing. And then next to that is, if you are having a multi-stage process, then if you want to have assurance of a result of a product or result or product of a one or another stage, then in that case again we are doing non-destructive testing, and we will continue the product to go on for the next stage. Same way, if you want to find out a best method or manner or process so that we can have a better quality, same way we need to complete that thing in a small time duration, then in that case we need to do non-destructive testing. And the last part is actually R&D, research and development. If we are having things working in a proper condition, but still if you want to enhance the quality part, if you want to increase the efficiency part, then in that case we need to do the non-destructive kind of testing on the system, working system, so that we can change the parameter, we can control them, and we can make them more better. Okay, now when we are doing the testing, there are certain things we need to identify. The flows, they are the errors. By mistake I have written external flow, but that flow is a flow of that is we can say motion. So you need to correct that. FLAW. it's not FLOW, FLAW, flows, that is a we can say error, damage, or some kind of we can say crack. So there are two kind of flows are there: surface flows and body flows. Surface flows, word itself suggests the surface flow, they are on the surface, they are not within the body, but they are available on the upper surface, external part. So external flow or surface flows, they are on the superior we can say superficial level, they will be outside. What kind of flows are there? What we call them? It's a micro cracks, small cracks are there. Then some kind of error in a surface finish also. And when we are casting them, when we are molding them, then blowholes on the surface, they are also such kind of problem. Sometimes porosity is also staying there. So these are the flows or errors at the surface they are occurring. So we need to identify them, and for that also we are using non-destructive testing. And second portion of the flow, or where other kind of flows, they are body flows. The word again suggests over here body flow, that means internal part, that is within the material. There are certain flows that are not available on the surface, but they are within the material. So we need to identify them also, and for that we need to do non-destructive testing. Again over here also porosity, but which is not connected with the surface, which is within the material or inside the body. And then overstress part. So when we apply a force on the body, then there may be a chances that within a internal structure there may be a stress creation, and due to that such certain changes are occurring. And then fatigue, blowholes, and segregation. That is actually contamination or clubbing of the material. We can say heterogeneity of material structure will arise. So this kind of problems, they are creating a we can say change, or they are inviting a change in the properties, and due to that the material won't be usable for the particular we can say application. Now what are the non-destructive testing methods which will help us in identifying the flows? Then in that case, detection of surface flows can be done with three methods: visual inspection method, second liquid or fluorescent dye penetrant inspection or method, then magnetic particle inspection method. These are the three methods